If you've ever felt kind of lost in that endless scroll of social media, just wishing for a more direct, a more meaningful way to connect with ideas, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to talk about the writer's journey on Substack. It's a platform that's really built for something different, not just for shouting into the void, but for building a real relationship between writers and readers, away from all that algorithmic noise. Okay, let's jump right in.
And really, it all boils down to this one question for any creator out there today. Are we just chasing clicks, or are we actually trying to build clarity? This is a tension that, we all feel it, right? Whether we're writing something, making something, or even just trying to decide what to read. This is the choice we're going to unpack.
So let's kick things off with the big picture. For a long time now, social media has been this global square where everyone goes to exchange ideas. But Substack, well, it's offering a different kind of square. It's one that's way less about who can shout the loudest and a lot more about having a direct, focused conversation.
At its heart, Substack is all about that direct line. Your work lands straight in your readers' inboxes. But here's the part that's an absolute game changer. Writers own their audience and their content. Think about that. You're not just renting a little corner on a platform that could change the rules on you tomorrow. No, you are building an asset that is truly 100% yours.
But here's the thing. Being a writer on any platform brings up this really fundamental challenge. You could call it the creator's paradox. It's this simple reality that every single writer has to wear two very, very different hats.
So on one hand, you're the creator, right? You have this drive to express yourself, to figure things out, to share what you've learned. But on the other hand, you're also the consumer. You have to read, you have to absorb new ideas to keep growing. The real tension kicks in when the pressure to create for an audience starts to totally eclipse your own need to consume for growth. And finding that balance, well, that's everything.
This matrix here, it really helps break down that balancing act. So you've got creating versus consuming on one axis, and then doing it shallowly versus deeply on the other. Down in those shallow zones, that's where you find the junk food, the clickbait writing and the endless doom scrolling, things that are all driven by distraction or chasing stats. But up in the deep zones, oh man, that's where the magic is. You've got meaningful reading that actually helps you grow. And that, in turn, leads to true, authentic writing.
And that's the key takeaway right there. The goal, the place you can actually thrive for the long haul, is this sustainable zone where deep creation and deep consumption meet. It's about writing with real authenticity. And that authenticity is fueled by reading that genuinely expands your world. One feeds the other in this amazing, powerful cycle.
All right, so let's see how this all builds into a journey you can actually follow. Starting to write can feel huge, intimidating. But this model, it breaks it all down into 4 really clear stages of growth. It's a roadmap that can take you from just one little idea to a real, thriving community.
So it all begins at the seed stage. That's where you're really just writing for yourself, trying to find your own clarity. Then you grow into a sapling. You start sharing your work, maybe you find those first few readers. As a tree, you really start to develop your unique voice, your point of view, and you build a loyal base. And then finally, you become part of a forest, where your ideas start to influence and connect with other writers. It's just a totally natural, organic way to grow.
And the one guiding principle through all 4 of those stages is this simple but powerful idea. Resonance is way more important than reach. It is not about how many people see your work. It's about how deeply you connect with the ones who do. I'm telling you, writing what truly matters to you is the most powerful magnet there is for finding the right audience.
Okay, so you're writing with resonance, but how does anyone actually find you? Good question. Let's get practical for a minute and look at how discovery actually works on the platform. It's not just some black box algorithm you have to guess at.
There are actually 6 key ways that readers can discover your writing. Now, beyond your own direct subscribers, the real secret sauce is in the network effects. When another writer you trust recommends your stuff, or when your ideas start spreading through features like notes and resharing, that's when this incredible cross-pollination begins.
And this gets to a really key difference. Growth on Substack, yeah, it's often slower, but it is so much deeper. It's built on a foundation of trust and actual human networks, not just some algorithm trying to guess what might go viral for 15 minutes. And that's the kind of growth that actually lasts.
So to pull all of this together, we need something to keep us on track, right? Something to make sure we don't just burn out. Think of this last part as your writer's compass, a really practical framework for making this whole journey sustainable and meaningful. These are your guiding principles. First, you've got to anchor in your purpose. Always remember why you started this. Build consistent rituals to keep you showing up. Consciously switch back and forth between those creator and consumer hats. And this one is huge. You have to detach from the metrics. See subscribers and likes as a nice byproduct of good work, not the actual goal itself.
This quote here just captures the entire spirit of that writer's compass perfectly. It's a reminder that when your focus is on meaning, on the duty, let's say, of telling a story well, the rest of it just has a way of following. Real value comes from the substance, not from the chase.
At the end of the day, after looking at all the platforms, the paradoxes, the frameworks, it all comes down to a very simple, very personal question. The journey doesn't start with a piece of software or some grand strategy. It starts right here. So let me ask you, what story matters most to you?